Battling breast cancer, a Douglas mom takes us inside her journey.
It's everything I expected. I literally knew I was going to be thrown into everything I was thrown into, but I thought it was going to be a lot harder. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
A home away from home, the Ronald McDonald House, making a difference for sick children and their families.
I realized how much they did for me and how much it meant to me. So I thought if I can do the same thing for, other families, and that's what I wanted to do.
Plus, a baby girl given a second chance at life. This is Arizona Week. Hello, and thanks for joining us. Today we're following up to a story we brought you last month. Jackie Lamadrid, a 31-year-old mother of 4 diagnosed with breast cancer. The Douglas woman underwent a double mastectomy and then chemotherapy. 2 treatments down and 1 more to go. Jackie Lamadrid, it's the fight of her life. So Jackie, here we are 6 weeks after your husband Roberto's with you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. My last chemo was June 10th. That was my 3rd one, and I had 1 more on July 1st. The 4th and 5th day after chemo was the worst, but after that I feel like nothing. It just feels like a really, really bad flu / morning sickness / food poisoning. I don't even know how to explain it, but it only lasts a good 2 days. It's not like the mastectomy where I was down for a whole month. So we've all kind of just got used to it. They know that I'm sick those few days and then just snap back.
How are you feeling like now? I mean, halfway through, you know that it's almost over, but how have you changed?
I'm really excited for this to be over. Like I'm counting down the days for July 1st, and then it's Roberto's birthday, July 4th, he'll be 10, so we know July 4th is probably gonna be one of the bad days. So just rearranging his birthday party to be the weekend before, and usually we do something 4th of July, but we probably won't do it till the weekend after the 4th of July. And I'm looking forward to the next few months to get that over with and to start the reconstruction process.
You look different.
Yeah, I lost some hair.
Tell me about that.
When I cut it off, it was fine. And so I've been prepared since then. I have kind of spots of hair here and there, so I just keep shaving it down because it kind of looks like little peach fuzz everywhere. So I'm gonna wait for my last chemo. It usually takes, they say, 4 to 5 weeks for chemo to come out of your system. So I'll probably wait 4 or 5 weeks, shave it 1 more time, and then just let it grow out and see what happens, see what kind of hair I get out of this process.
Roberto was there with you when you shaved your hair. As a matter of fact, you did it, Roberto. How did that feel?
At first, it looked a little odd, right? She didn't cry or anything. She started to look in the mirror, and then I thought, you know what, this isn't a big deal.
It was emotional, Jackie. We saw in the video, like you're kind of breathing different.
Yeah, it was, I kind of went into a panic attack and then I stopped because it's hard. I loved my hair. My hair was, I think of this whole process, that's what scared me the most. I mean, I literally was scared to lose my hair more than to have cancer. I know that might sound really, really bad, and a lot of people might say that sounds very vain, but, and a lot of people say, it's just hair, it grows back, and it does grow back. I know it grows back, but that was my hair. That was my hair that I loved to comb, that I loved to dye my hair. I'm a cosmetologist. I love hair. So when I cut it off, then it was just done. It was just over with. I mean, I still wish I had hair, but I have really cute wigs too, so I'm over it.
Was this everything you expected? Because you did a lot of research. Do you feel like you were prepared for what you're dealing with right now?
It's everything I expected. I literally knew I was gonna be thrown into everything I was thrown into, but I thought it was gonna be a lot harder. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I can count back on the last, February it started, March, April, May, June, July, the last 4.5 months, and I could literally say I had 12 bad days in all these months. And I'm talking about the 2 bad chemo days included. So it's been really good for me. It's been easy.
Do you agree, Roberto? Does that?
I think in the first month when they found the cancer, that was pretty hard. There were days we didn't even talk about it. We didn't know what to do. But from then on, we got a handle on it. And I think we're going to get out of it.
Roberto, how do you see your wife now? How is she different?
Yo la miro, ya la miro normal, ¿no? Sí, hay veces que se
Now I see her normal.
poquito
Those chemo days are hard.
con acidez
Those 2 or 3 days, she doesn't feel well. She's tired. She's a little worn out.
que no quiere
She doesn't want to do anything.
descansar, que es lo que
But just on those days.
en esos días.
Outside of that, everything else is normal.
What is she like on those chemo days?
Pues esos días es muy
Well, on those days, she's grouchy.
se la lleva, pues,
Those days, she knows she's going to be in the hospital.
pero eso dura 3-4
We get there and we're anxious. She's mad and yelling,
días, ¿no? Pero
but it's only for those 3 or 4 days. Everything bothers her,
es parte de la medicina.
but I know it's because of the medicine.
3 or 4 days is a long time. How do you put up with that?
I ask myself the same question when I come out of
Tengo que,
it.
porque yo sé que es
I have to, because it's part of the chemo.
si fueras parte de su vida, yo creo que
If that's just the way she was, I don't think I could be with her.
When you were shaving her head, were you thinking this is not normal or this?
yo pensé cuando le corté el pelo como ella
You know, when I cut her hair, like she said earlier,
pelo y se la llevaba.
I know she loved her hair. She was always fixing her hair.
Porque ella me decía, "Me lo
I
voy a
told her,
cortar, ¿no?
when you're ready, I can cut it for you.
En un ratito me dijo, "Hey,
So then one day she says, cut my hair.
pues nos metimos al
So we
baño,
go into the
y
bathroom,
los
the
niños,
kids were in the house,
y empecé
and we started to cut her hair.
y le corté
I
un
cut
lado,
one
le corté un
side,
lado
I
primero, y
stopped,
si quieres te lo dejo así,
and I told her,
para que no-
if you want, I can leave it like this to see how it
Pero
looks.
no, se empezó a
And
mirar
then she started to
un
tear
poquito
up,
primero,
just a little bit. But now I think,
yo pienso que ya está,
well, you heard her. She thinks she might not want her hair anymore.
so ya está impuesto
I'm in a
estar
house
así.
of pure boys, and I'm the one that has least hair out of everybody.
Roberto, we know how Jackie's feeling, but how are you feeling?
Pues yo me siento como ella se siente.
I feel like she does.
Un día bien,
When she's good,
estamos
everyone
muy
is
bien,
good.
pero yo
When she's
pienso
not
que-
good, I have to be strong because I don't want her to think things are bad.
no nos podemos sentir
Right now, we can't feel bad.
contrario.
Yeah, we're very blessed that this is what happened because there's a lot of other people that have it way worse than us.
Yeah.
Way, way worse. And, you know, the kind of cancer, where I got the cancer, the number of treatments I got. I mean, it could have been a million times worse. So we have to be thankful every day that this is what happened
No,
to
y
me.
todos los
And every day we thank God because we are where we are and He's protecting us.
What helps you, Roberto? What gives you strength? How do you keep managing all this?
Pues ahorita estamos
Right now, every day,
cada día
I'm
por
just
día me
thinking we
levanto
have to
pensando
push
en que-
forward.
en que tenemos
I
que
think the
salir
man
adelante.
has to take care of his family.
Como-
That's what I've
como ella
always
como
done.
parejas, pues,
That's what I'll keep
un hombre
doing.
tiene que sacar adelante a su
If she
familia.
has to rest for a year,
Sigo
that's
igual,
okay with me.
¿entiendes? Yo pienso que
Right now with our work,
si ella se quisiera
it's
quedar
hard
sentada
because
todo
she helps me a lot.
un año
And
que
then there are those
está
days where she can't help me.
la mujer, pero ahorita estamos bien
And
unidos
it
con
can be hard.
el trabajo
One
que
person,
tenemos, y
4
sí
kids.
ha sido un poquito difícil
Yeah, on
porque
those
ella nos
days,
ha
I do
ayudado
feel it.
mucho, ¿no? Pero
But I know we're going to
ya
get through
todo esto
this.
ya vamos a salir de todo esto pronto.
I love her a lot,
Mucho y aquí voy a
and I'm going to be here for her.
How are the kids accepting all this?
I think they're doing good. I mean, I ask them not every day, not as frequently as I did when it first started, but I know the 2 little ones, the baby Romy, I don't know. I mean, she doesn't talk, but she throws those little tantrums. I don't know if it's because she just throws tantrums or because maybe the attention she might need, that she, you know, has to get used to being with her grandma and then get back to getting used to being here with us and then going back with her grandma and then with us. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think they're okay. I think they're, when we pray at night, they always say, please let anybody that has the C word get it out of their body and let all our family be healed. And so I know that they know what's going on. I don't think it's affecting them. I don't know. We'd have to ask them.
Roberto, I don't normally get to watch TV in the middle of the day, so what are we watching here?
Watching international talk,
What are we learning about?
like the players, like the new trades, the batting averages, runs allowed.
Okay, so you like to play baseball. You like to watch baseball. Does that mean you want to be a baseball player when you grow up?
When I grow up, I want to be in the starting lineup. At first, if I can, Yankees. And then if that doesn't happen, Blue Jays.
Toronto and New York are kind of far from your mom. Are you going to move away from your mom?
I'm going to visit her a lot.
Oh, okay. Maybe she can come visit you too?
I'll give her tickets, my family tickets, to come watch the games.
So your mommy had breast cancer, and now she's going through some treatment. How do you see her feeling?
I know she's going to get through it, but I think she's feeling good.
Have things changed around the house here for you guys?
A little. Sometimes you got to be a little more quiet. Sometimes you can't go outside, but I respect that because I want to do what I can to make my mom feel better.
Do you think your family's different now that your mom has this illness and she's trying to get better?
Yeah, everybody just like tries to do what they can do to make her like not like mad or sad. Try to make her as happy as she can.
Do you worry about your mom?
I know she's a really strong woman, and I know anything that is gonna happen to her, I know that she's gonna get through it with us.
So your brothers and your sister, how do you think they feel because your mom is sick?
I think they feel the same, but Roddy tries to be a well-behaved, but Rocket too. Sometimes when I tell him to listen or listen to my mommy or don't do that, he listens.
But your mom, how do you think she's doing?
Good. I know that she's gonna get past her chemo, and we're just gonna be a normal family again.
Your mom doesn't have hair. How did you feel about that?
I'm okay with it. I like it. I like when she doesn't put a wig on because I like how she's showing herself. I want her to be herself, not put her wigs on. Just if she feels comfortable with putting her wigs on, I don't care. She can put it on, but I like it better when she doesn't put her wigs on.
And when your mommy's all finished with this, are you excited for her to grow her hair back?
I'm pretty excited if she doesn't or if she does. I really don't care if she cuts it off again. She looks pretty either way.
Arizona Week plans to visit Jackie again in July after her last chemotherapy treatment. Now for the story of the Ronald McDonald House in southern Arizona. For 35 years, every year, more than 500 families call the house a home while their child receives medical care in Tucson.
The Ronald McDonald House in Tucson is part of a global network. There are Ronald McDonald houses in 57 countries around the world. But we're lucky that we get to operate pretty autonomously here. So we have some guidelines we follow, but we really are allowed to do our own thing and to serve our community. Our primary work here is to provide a home away from home for families who have critically ill children.
Tell me about capacity and how you met, for families who come here. I mean, is there some cost involved for them?
We have 28 rooms in the house, and we like it when the house is full. There is no cost to families. The support we get from the community allows us to support the families. And once they're here, everything is free. There's no charge for laundry detergent or anything like that. So that does take a worry away from the families and, relieves some financial burden, yeah.
If someone wants to stay at the Ronald McDonald House, what are the requirements you have to meet?
So the requirements are that in general, the family needs to live at least 30 miles away, or we do have some flexibility about that, but that is our requirement. It's for families of patients up to age 22. So it's not just for little children. And, if you have a young adult with cancer, generally a parent is still involved in the care, and so those families certainly can stay here. The other thing that people don't really know is that we often have high-risk pregnant moms who stay here, moms from out of town who need to stay closer to a hospital with a NICU. So we have had those moms stay here until the point that they would give birth.
We've seen a little bit of that today. Tell us about some of the places that really make this a home.
We've done everything we can to make this a home-like environment. Even silly things like I was telling you, we don't make the beds because it's not a hotel. We let people make their own beds the way they want to. But we've tried to create the house so that there are places for kids to play, there are places for parents to hang out. They're really all of the things you would find at your own house except your own bed. We also have families and groups who are in here every day to cook meals for lunch and dinner. So when people are hospitalized, they don't have to worry about eating out all the time, paying for meals, and just organizing that. I think for a lot of families, the home-cooked meals is really great. We have the most wonderful toy room. I mean, it's a miniature Toys R Us. And again, those are all donations from the community. We give toys to the kiddos and the siblings when they come to the house. It's kind of a fun way to, to welcome them. We also have lots of playrooms with all different kinds of toys for different ages of kids. We have reading areas and computer areas for older kids, for teenagers and older kids. We've got a great room of quilts that we don't really take families into, but it's wonderful to see because we have maybe a dozen groups of ladies who donate quilts to us, and so we give one to every kiddo who comes here.
You have families who come to you from all over southern Arizona, but outside the state as well.
Sure. Most of our families are coming from Cochise and Santa Cruz County. We get some from Yuma and a few from Graham Greenlee. We're also getting more and more families from Las Vegas. Those families tend to stay here for a longer period of time. They're coming here primarily for our pediatric bone marrow transplant program, which is run at Banner Diamond Children's by Dr. Katsanis.
Why do you think this house in particular has been so successful in really making that difficult situation a little easier to handle?
One of the things that makes this house great, honestly, is the volunteers, because other houses don't have as many volunteers as we do. I've only visited a few houses because I'm fairly new in this position, but the volunteers are unbelievable. We have one volunteer who's been volunteering here at least one day a week for 27 years. And so this place is really meaningful to them, and they take a lot of pride in making the families feel at home here. I think the volunteers, both the Chef for a Day volunteers who cook and the volunteers who are just here every day, really make this place much more welcoming.
This is tough work for you guys to do, but it's important work. How are you guys managing all these emotions? Because I can imagine it can be trying at times.
I think it's the joy and the sorrow all mixed together. We are happy to be here to do everything we can to support families, and even when those families are going through tough times, I think it gives us a lot of joy to know that we're helping a little bit. So sure, there are times that things get really hard. You know, when I first started working here, I said, I'm going to have to start wearing waterproof mascara because there were a lot of sad things those first couple of weeks. But knowing that we're doing everything we can to support the families, honestly, it really feels good.
One of those families has lived in the Ronald McDonald house for more than 2 months now. Stacy and Jack Tesh brought their infant daughter Olivia from Las Vegas to Tucson to receive life-saving treatment.
The name of her condition is congenital megakaryocytic thrombocytopenia. And what that means is that her body is not making platelets and that it's a congenital condition that she was born with.
This is a very rare illness.
Yes, under 100 cases, well, a little over 100 documented cases.
In the world?
Yes.
She was born with it?
Yes.
She's 15 months now?
Yes.
How is she today?
She is doing great today. She had a bone marrow transplant on April 26th, and she's doing really well. She is 100% donor right now, and her body is now making platelets.
And she got the donor from another baby?
Yes, it was a cord blood donation from a donor outside the United States. Okay,
and the prognosis now?
The prognosis now is she's 100% cured.
You're from Las Vegas, but you came to Tucson for treatment.
Yes.
Why?
We were given an option to come out here and meet the doctor, and we liked him right away and decided, we stayed at the Ronald McDonald house and we decided this was the right place for us and the right doctor, and we wanted to go for it.
So you live in Vegas, you come to Tucson for treatment. And there's the Ronald McDonald House.
Yes.
Tell me about this blessing for you.
It has definitely been a blessing to come here and to be so welcomed by the staff and the volunteers here, to ask us how we're doing, to touch base with us and let us know if there's any concerns we have or if we need any help with anything. They got me connected with a couple different resources around here, where they're able to come and play with Josie for a little bit during the day. And it was a very welcoming atmosphere where we can stay at the hospital all day, come back and be with Olivia during the day, and then come back, and they have organizations that come and make dinner, and it was just really welcoming and a good feeling to know that we had a place like this where we can come to and not have to worry about the day-to-day things that we would normally have to worry about.
This has been your home away from home.
Absolutely. We've been here for a little over 2 months.
Given that you're taking on so much right now, how could you have managed this if you didn't have a place like this?
I couldn't imagine, because it's already been difficult enough as is, because when you're away from your home, you still have to take care of things that are at home. We still have to maintain our mortgage. We still have to maintain our electrical bills and air conditioning and whatever is going on. We still have to pay car insurance, car payments, student loans, all those things we still have to maintain while being here. And I don't know if I could have done it without this place. You know, to not have to worry about paying someone else in addition to the mortgage I already have to pay. You know, so it's just so welcoming to be here.
You may get to go home very soon.
We may.
You may.
We may.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
How will you, as you reflect on this experience, because your little girl is doing so well, what will this chapter look like in your life?
Well, I was telling my husband the other day, this little one better never tell me that she can't do anything, because I'm going to go ahead and remind her of everything that we've been through with her. And I'm going to tell her sky's the limit and she can do it.
There are families like yours who have a sick child and they don't know that there are resources like this house for them. What would you say?
Definitely, if you're dealing with a sick child and you have to be away from home, if no one is offering it to you, they should at your hospital or your doctor, they should offer this service to you. If not, if you just reach out to them, reach out to your local Ronald McDonald House, go online to find them and see what they have and take a visit and see what they can offer you.
How important is it to you to get home from the hospital and then you're greeted by these delightful volunteers, a home-cooked meal? That's got to make a difference.
It really does. It's just a really good feeling to have these people that are taking time out of their day to come and cook for people that aren't able to do so.
The prognosis for her moving forward is pretty good.
The prognosis is excellent. Doctor says she's 100% cured. Right now it's just maintaining her level. She'll still be in and out of the hospital for a little while. But so far she's gone on about 3 weeks with no platelet transfusions.
You might not be in this position in your life without this house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just want to give a thank you to everybody here at the Ronald McDonald House in Tucson who has really made this our home away from home during this time.
The Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern Arizona relies heavily on donations and volunteers to make the home function for families. And those who volunteer say it's a labor of love.
I've been volunteering here since 2009 for about 7 years. I had a daughter who went through chemotherapy and cancer treatment, and we ended up in Phoenix. And we knew initially she had surgery. And so it was extensive neurosurgery, and we knew we were going to have to be in Phoenix for a while. And so her oncologist told us about the Ronald McDonald House. That's how I initially became involved in it. So after we had that experience, I told my youngest daughter that once I retired, we were going to volunteer. Because before then, we used to drop off paper towels or toilet paper or cookies or whatever, but I wanted to give something of myself personally. So we decided that after I retired that I would volunteer, and that's how I became involved. Ronald McDonald House Charities, this is Jeannie. My background is in education. I started out as a teacher in elementary school. I then spent several years at the middle school, and before I became a principal, and then I was an assistant principal and a principal at the middle school before I finally went to an elementary school and spent the last 10 years of my career at an elementary school. I have served my time, if you will, but the Ronald McDonald House does so much for families, and they did so much for me. And at the time, I didn't think about it, but afterwards I realized how much they did for me and how much it meant to me. So I thought if I can do the same thing for other families, and that's what I wanted to do. And it doesn't take anything or any time or any effort out of me because I like coming here.
Just to add it back, not that that solves your problem. Today we're helping to deal with a problem with these older TVs that they have in the rooms. When a guest comes back from being at the hospital all day, for example, they like to be able to just sit and watch TV. There's some user education that needs to happen there, and we're trying to simplify that as much as possible. Oh, and that's where the 2 and the 4. We support their network. We help them with their workstations, their computers, deal with problems, virus problems, things like that. We provide a wireless network here for them and for the guests that stay here. I think Ronald McDonald House is important for families because it gives them a great option during a difficult time in their lives when they're having to deal with something with their kids like that they have a place that they can rest.
We have a sign on the wall that tells them this is, your house, and that's kind of the model. We want them to feel like they are at home. And so, yeah, you want somebody to greet you because sometimes you're not necessarily angry, but you're deep in thought or you're kind of, sad because of what's going on. Or the fact that we have volunteers who come and prepare food that that there's going to be a meal here for you. That means the world because that's one less thing you have to think about and have to worry about. It makes you feel good to see that they're happy. Because we have a lot of families who have the children are in the hospital, the sick children are not necessarily here, but we have their siblings here, or we have their parents here. And so, we want to make them feel, like I said, as little stress as possible. We want them to be happy. It's little things like that that make it worthwhile.
And that's our program. Next week is the 3rd anniversary of one of the deadliest wildfires in American history. The Yarnell fire claimed the lives of 19 hotshot crew members near the town of Prescott. Join me for an interview with Brendan McDonough, one of the Yarnell hotshots. For all of us at Arizona Public Media, I'm Lorraine Rivera. Thanks for joining us.